Ever found yourself staring at your phone, unable to access your Monzo account, wondering, how long is this going to take? It's a frustrating situation, especially when you need to make a payment or transfer money urgently. We've all been there, that sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize your digital lifeline is temporarily severed. So, how long does it actually take for Monzo to unblock your account? That's exactly what we're diving into today. Before we get into the specifics, it's important to understand why Monzo might block your account in the first place. It's rarely a malicious act, and it's almost always for your own security or to comply with regulations. Think of it like a security measure, a digital bouncer making sure everything is legitimate. Common reasons for account blocks include suspicious activity, like unusual transactions or logins from unfamiliar locations. It could also be due to issues with verifying your identity, perhaps if you've recently moved and haven't updated your address, or if there's a discrepancy with the information Monzo has on file. Sometimes, it can even be triggered by automated systems flagging something that seems out of the ordinary, even if it's perfectly innocent. Finally, and perhaps most frustratingly, it can sometimes be related to technical glitches or system maintenance. Now, let's address the burning question. How long will you be locked out? Unfortunately, there's no single, definitive answer. The time it takes to unblock your Monzo account can vary significantly depending on the reason for the block. In some cases, it can be resolved within minutes. If it's a simple case of verifying your identity, for example, and you have the necessary documents readily available, you might be back in business in no time. Perhaps you just need to confirm a recent transaction or update your address, and a quick chat with Monzo support via the app will sort it out. However, in other situations, the process can take considerably longer. If the block is related to a more complex issue, such as suspected fraud or a legal investigation, it could take days, or even weeks, to resolve. These situations often require more thorough investigation and may involve communication with other agencies. Monzo has a responsibility to protect its users and comply with financial regulations, and this sometimes means taking the time to thoroughly investigate any potential issues. So, what can you do to speed up the process? The most important thing is to be proactive and responsive. If you suspect your account has been blocked, the first thing you should do is contact Monzo support immediately through the app. Explain the situation clearly and calmly, and provide them with any information they request. The quicker you communicate with them, the quicker they can start investigating the issue. Be prepared to provide documentation to verify your identity or explain any unusual activity. This might include a copy of your passport or driver's license, proof of address, or details of recent transactions. The more organized and prepared you are, the smoother the process will be. It's also crucial to stay in contact with Monzo support throughout the process. If you haven't heard back from them within a reasonable time frame, don't hesitate to follow up. A gentle nudge can sometimes help move things along. However, remember to be polite and patient. The support team is there to help, and getting frustrated or aggressive will only make the situation worse. Now, let's talk about some specific scenarios and how long they might typically take to resolve. If your account is blocked due to a forgotten password, this is usually a quick fix. You can typically reset your password through the app or website, and you should be back in your account within minutes. If the block is due to suspicious activity, such as a large or unusual transaction, Monzo might need to verify that the transaction was indeed authorized by you. This might involve a phone call or a message through the app. Once you've confirmed the transaction, the block should be lifted fairly quickly. If the issue is related to identity verification, the time frame can vary depending on how quickly you can provide the necessary documentation. If you have everything readily available, it might only take a few hours. However, if you need to gather documents or wait for them to arrive, it could take a few days. And finally, if the block is due to a more complex issue, such as suspected fraud or a legal investigation, it's difficult to predict how long it will take to resolve. These situations often require a more thorough investigation and may involve communication with other agencies. In these cases, it's important to be patient and cooperate fully with Monzo support. While you're waiting for your account to be unblocked, it's understandable to feel anxious and frustrated. However, try to remain calm and avoid making multiple inquiries unless absolutely necessary. Flooding the support team with messages will only slow down the process. Instead, focus on gathering any necessary documentation and responding promptly to any requests from Monzo. One thing to remember is that Monzo, like any financial institution, is bound by regulations and legal requirements. They have a responsibility to protect their customers and prevent financial crime. This sometimes means taking the time to thoroughly investigate any potential issues, even if it's inconvenient for you. So, to summarize, there's no magic number for how long it takes to unblock a Monzo account. It depends entirely on the reason for the block and the complexity of the issue. It could be as quick as a few minutes or as long as several days or weeks. The best thing you can do is to contact Monzo support immediately, be responsive and cooperative, and provide them with any information they request. Remember to be patient and understanding, and they will do their best to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.